Welcome to The Change Agent, sponsored by Beyond the Glare and Kalina Vision Professional Services, where we dive into the real-world challenges and strategies of leadership, team management, leading remote teams, project management, being an empathetic leader, technology, and more. So whether you're leading a new team or you're trying to energize an existing one, we've got the insights, tips, and stories to help you succeed as a leader and inject value fast into your organization. So let's get started. Welcome back and welcome to episode number 8. I am Eric, and today we are taking a dive once again into influencing and inspiring as a leader, but this time without authority. So if you want to get better at motivating, inspiring, and improving your team dynamics, stay with me over the next 10 minutes or so, and we're going to take a focused look into this. Today's episode is all about leading without authority, which is a challenge that many new project managers and team leads face. If you don't have a formal title or direct reports, how do you get people to listen to you, collaborate, and follow your lead? So we're going to explore it, so come along with me. So first, let's address that challenge. Leadership is not just about authority. It's about impact and influence. Some of the best leaders that are around, people who even changed the world, had no official title when they started. So if you're managing a project, guiding a team, or leading an initiative but don't have direct authority, maybe they are formally under someone else, you can still be a leader because leadership is a mindset. You need to focus on 3 primary things, and we've talked about these in other podcasts, but for now, let's focus on these 3: credibility, communication, and relationships. So let's break those down just a tad. The first step into leading without authority is earning credibility. Now, I've mentioned this in episode 7. You may have had this as you stepped into the role from a previous based on your reputation from a previous role or from people who introduced you to those and they know you and their credibility about you, how they feel about you and how they've portrayed you lends itself to you as you begin your journey in leadership. People are much more likely to follow your lead if they trust your expertise and believe in you, so obviously your reputation should precede you if it's good. But to keep and grow that credibility can be tricky, and I've talked about that before. Credibility is something that you would have as you move into the role, hopefully, but you've got to grow it and you've got to keep it. Here's how we can build some of that credibility quickly. First, know your stuff. It goes back to learning. Be informed about the project, its goals, the team itself, and people will follow. People respect knowledge. Knowledge is power, right? Be reliable. Again, do what you say you're going to do. Say what you mean what you say. Be available when you say you'll be available. Follow through builds trust. Following through builds trust. Show initiative. Volunteer for things. Volunteer for challenges. Offer solutions. Be proactive. Because leaders don't wait. They step up. They take action. They're doers. I'm not saying you have to be a type A personality. I've seen plenty of people who are not type A personalities be really engaged in leadership, and they were really great leaders. But they have a way about motivating and persuading. So let's talk about persuading for a second. Influencing is not about demanding. It's about persuading people. Persuasion is an art. Remember before I said that leaders provide purpose, motivation, and direction, that old non-commissioned officer adage. When you don't have formal power, you have to motivate, and people will follow you if they believe that they have something to gain as well. This is about team building, empowerment. They're all here. This is why it's important to understand Maslow's hierarchy of needs again. It's a key component of knowing why people do what they do, what drives people, what they see as important, and how those needs tie directly into personal and professional achievement and goals. So some ideas around persuading and motivating people. You can begin with framing your ideas around benefits. So instead of saying, I need you to do this, rephrase it. Say, here's why I think this will make your job easier. This will all help us to succeed. Or you can ask it in a question format. What do you think about this? This is the second point, asking for input. People support what they can help create. So involve other people in decisions when possible. And then third, find some common ground. Understand what motivates your team members and connects that to your requests, to their goals. So if you've got something in common, obviously it's a lot easier to not only motivate people, but common ground is a really good thing to have when you're trying to deconflict somewhere. A trick I like to use is that when I want someone's support, I ensure that I've put their value right up front in my request. I recognize their expertise. I ask for their opinion. They'll be more open to working with me. Now, a key component of that is the relationship, because the relationships drive influence, right? If you don't have a relationship, the chances of you being influential are going to be low. So at the end of the day, leadership is about people. The stronger the relationships, the easier it is to lead. But again, relationships need to be shepherded, or they need a shepherd. They need nurturing. And it can take a long time to build a relationship and a lot of effort. And you should know, and I'm sure you already do, it can take a second to tear it all to pieces. So let's look into some ways where we can build relationships and influence people. First, I would connect one-on-one. Take time to understand team members just beyond just what they're doing, right? Their tasks. Get to know them about their family. Ask them questions about how many kids do they have. What are their hobbies? What do they like to do? What are things that make them nervous? What are their goals? What challenges do they face? Then you can step into the role of being a problem solver. You can help them be successful. That'll gain their trust, but you must follow through on those things if you volunteer those actions. And then give credit freely. I mean, how many people have heard the boss only says something when something goes wrong? Well, that's really a kind of a bad thing to have to be known for. Give credit freely, recognize contributions, and celebrate wins, even the small ones, because people appreciate leaders who uplift others. The two most powerful words, I think, are thank you. To say thank you is a really good one. Just as a parenthetical, I don't like it when I say good morning to people and they don't respond to me good morning. So if someone does say to you good morning, might be a good idea to turn around and give them that minute to say good morning and smile and say, how are you? And they say, great. Anyway, you know how to hold a conversation. A real world example I had one time was when I was working with a senior developer. He wasn't very responsive to some of the things I was asking him to do. So rather than pushing harder or being demanding or autocratic, I took the time to ask him about his challenges, and I tried to support him on a few of those issues. And that really made a change. That wasn't very much effort, and it made a completely different environment for us. It changed our dynamic, and suddenly we were able to collaborate much more effectively. So looking into some recaps of some of the things that we've talked about influencing and directing, especially when you don't have authority, these are things that you can do either while you're leading, as soon as you get assigned to lead, but preferably you're doing it before you lead, before you're actually picked as a leader, because this is the stuff that you have to build on. Leadership isn't about authority, it's about influence. Credibility comes from knowledge, reliability, and initiative. Persuasion works much better than orders and demanding. Focus on what the benefits are, the input, and the common grounds. Relationships matter. It takes a long time to build them, very quickly to lose them if you're messing them up. Build trust, offer the help, recognize contributions. If you focus on those principles, you'll lead effectively even if you have no title. So it's really important that we do these things in concert with our leadership above us as well, because they are the ones who are going to help us move forward in our career, give us the opportunities to learn. Again, there's that learning piece. And eventually that will all trickle down for the benefit of others as we create really good operational environments, or what I like to call an operational climate. And this team will start to meld together. And as long as you start to exhibit these traits as a good leader, your team will want to follow them. They'll start to copy those, and they'll become natural leaders on their own just by watching you. So that's a wrap for today. If you found today's episode helpful, don't forget to subscribe to this podcast and make sure to leave a review. If you'd like more information on how to engage with me directly, head over to kalinavision.com. That's KALYN as in Nancy A-vision.com. And catch us on YouTube at Beyond the Glare to learn more and see how we can help you and your team remove obstacles and address challenges which enable your team and organization to have an excellent cohesion and can execute all of these things with perfection. Thank you so much for listening. We'll catch you on the next one.